Hey everyone, let's talk about sending out announcements and emails in Canvas and MyWLC. As you can see here, I have a couple of published sandbox courses. I'm going to pick one of these, and I'm going to use that as an example for sending an announcement. Currently, there are no announcements in the class, so it has a little hidden menu for students because there would be really nothing for them to see. If I click on the Announcements tab and hit plus announcement in the top right corner, I can format this just like an email. Welcome to class, and then type up whatever I want as the body of the email and send that to all students. You can have it be delayed and post at a specific time, or you can just hit save and it will post it right now. Couple of things, from what we understand, your course does need to be published for the announcement to send out notifications to students. That being said, I'm going to save this announcement, and I'm going to show you that in the announcements, here's the welcome to class announcement. I also have mine set up that announcements will show up at the top of the class. If you want to do that, you can do that under settings. If you scroll down on the first page under more options, you can show recent announcements and control how many you want. I only want 2 so that it doesn't get too cluttered, and I tend to send out an announcement per week. Update the course when you are finished with that. The other thing about sending announcements, and one thing that I do before courses start, is I typically use the MyWLC feature. If you recall, you can still go to the faculty menu where you do your textbook entry. You are going to find an area that has a class list. So I can click on the class list here. That's going to pull up all of my students with the ability to select all of them and hit email selected students. From here, I can decide whether or not they can all see each other's emails or make them all private so that no one sees who else was on this email. I can type up my message, add attachments, etc., and hit send. I tend to do that when I am emailing before courses start. So really important to know that there's a couple of ways that you can email students. The last thing that I want to talk about is that announcement within Canvas. Students do have the ability to control how they get those announcements. If they go to their notifications tab, or I'll start actually on their profile tab. I'll start on the settings tab. Students can actually add other ways for them to be contacted, like text, Twitter, other emails, etc. You don't have to worry about any of this because when you post an announcement, it is going to send it to wherever they've chosen to receive their announcements. In their notification tab, they can control each of those individual things, and you'll see announcement, I have notify immediately on mine. I'd really strongly encourage you to remind students to keep this at notify immediately. I always say if I'm going to send out an announcement that cancels class, you're going to want to know before you get to class. So if I were to change this to a daily summary, you're not going to get that email until 6 p.m. Weekly, it's going to be at the end of the week, or if they turn it off, they're just not going to get it. So I strongly encourage you to remind them not to turn off their email notifications, especially for their WLC email. What they do with the rest of them, up to them. Hopefully that gives you a little bit more information about how you can go to any of your courses once it's published and use the announcements feature, or go to the faculty menu on MyWLC and use the class list and send announcements that way. God's blessings as you begin your new semester.